we were talking about people don't see the work that goes into things. And if they did, maybe they think you're crazy, but then at the end they see the success and now they're like, oh, how'd you do that? What'd you do the entire time? It reminds me of everyone I tell about crypto now. It's like, they don't believe it. They can't believe it. They don't see it. They won't know until you have that extreme personal success. And again, we talked about this before. I think all of us have success in different ways. I don't think any of us are billionaires right now, but once you get to a certain point, when you're so successful, I was watching Mark Manson. Oh my gosh, I've been watching a lot of him lately. Wrote the what was the name of the book? How to not give up. No, the
no. The Art of Not.
Yes, that one. Yes. So that guy, his YouTube is awesome. He did a great interview with Tom Bayou, who made Quest chips, the protein chips, actually very, very tasty chips. I didn't even know that was him, and he's like a self-help guy, but I've been eating those chips for a long time because of keto and stuff too, so they're fantastic. Anyways, they had a conversation, great stream the other day, and full of nuggets, full of gems to share on Twitter. And he was talking about just like nobody wanted to talk to him, and they were just confused about how he made all this internet money. He's like, oh, he's got this internet money now. I feel like the same thing's going to happen when everyone who's making the right decisions right now gets what they gets what they deserve, gets what their actions show, get whatever that becomes, whether it's riches or not. They become successful in that vertical, and then people are going to be asking, what happened? How'd you do it? And maybe you tell them, hey, you haven't been listening. Or maybe you tell them, hey, here's what I did here. They're going to ask all these follow-up questions. Oh, is it still there? They're going to be coping like, oh, all the gains are gone now though, right? Like they're going to like try to make themselves feel better if they didn't listen before. Very interesting human psychology stuff that's going to be on display when all this stuff happens. However, that part of when they say, or they try to cope or whatever, and they say, oh, they just got lucky. He just got lucky. He came, he just happened to get in the right time. All that, we talked about on this before, the luck surface area, the mental model of being sensitive to opportunities, good opportunities, like interesting ones, and putting yourself in a position, you create your own luck. You have this like luck surface area. Maybe it's 10% of your where you're walking. Maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 50%. And then the more things, the more time you put in, the more effort, the more compounding, the more research you do, it increases your luck surface area until you get to like 80, 90%. You're not really lucky anymore. You're making your own luck, in a different way. So I want to talk about luck because I think that's one of the most, it's also annoying when I hear people, because it also takes away from your achievement, right? Like if people say you got lucky, one, they're making themselves feel better. And two, they're making you look worse. So it's literally someone the other day, I was talking to about crypto, and he's probably one of my friends who's wants as little to do with it as possible, doesn't believe in it, thinks it's, Beanie Babies, all, those type of guys. I love him as a person, but, we can't talk about crypto at all. And I remember him telling me the other day, he's like, I was telling about these investments and some of my plans and stuff like that. And he's like, how are you going to do it? And I'm like, well, yeah, I have these investments and otherwise. And then he just kind of laughed and was like, oh, good luck. And as soon as he said good luck, my instant response was in a very, not mad or nothing like that. My first response was, I don't need luck. My first response to him. And he, and the conversation just kind of ended and we just went on and nothing else came from it. But that's how I feel, is I don't need luck. I've increased my luck surface area so much by being sensitive to these type of opportunities, putting in the work, putting in the effort, compounding interest so much. I don't need what you call luck. And there's different kinds of luck, and we'll get into that as well. But I don't need luck you don't need luck when you make your own luck. I guess that's something to get from it. But
you don't want to be playing the game in a way where luck is the only reason that you make your returns.
Yeah.
And I think crypto and gambling, which is basically luck in a lot of ways, are very commonly associated together. And I know that's something for myself. I want to be very, very careful. I do not want to be gambling. I do not want to be just lucky. I want to be controlling myself. I can't control the markets, but I can control my approach to the markets. And as the more educated I can be in understanding basic explanations for what makes a good community, what makes a token pump, like learning as I go, the less luck there is in it. And I can look back and be like, I was, early in Hex And yeah, that was lucky. But when I was doing that, I was literally like, I'd been in crypto since 2015, looking for these opportunities and understanding what opportunities look like. And I saw that Hex could be that opportunity. That was very intentional when I was doing it. And I didn't know that it was going to do as well as it has even now in this dip relative to the beginning. It's doing very well. But I think people could easily look to that and like, oh, that's why you have so much, worth locked up in cryptos, because you got in early in Hex. And yes, that's true, but it was intentional at the time. And I was looking for those opportunities. And like Jake was saying earlier, I spent a lot of time. I try to spend a lot of time focusing and thinking about crypto, but it doesn't always relate to clicking. Like, it doesn't mean I'm doing something, moving funds around. I hardly move funds around at all. I'm waiting for opportunity, and I'm putting a lot of my time into understanding what opportunity looks like, so that when those few times that the opportunity lines up, that I think there's a really potentially good upside and a small downside, I'm ready to act. And I'm really just preparing. And one of the hard things with crypto is you don't know for sure when opportunity is going to show. And you can have educated guesses. Like, to me, for example, specifically this PulseChain launch, that's one of those times that's potentially, in my opinion, the 80-20 rule or the 20-80 rule, where it's one of those times where if you have a good thought out plan, you have a chance of acting on opportunity. There's a big event happening, and if you play that well, you might have a lot to show for it. It's a time to prepare for and strategize for, and have that be ready for opportunity at that time. And you can kind of be educated and have some idea of when opportunity is going to show, but a lot of it is not just clicking. And it's interesting, because I think that separates a lot of people, just an observation, from the people that end up having more to show for it relative to other people, is that people just make stuff happen. They just play little short-term games that are very high risk just because they want to be doing something. And I think a lot of it, it's more like, it's all like, for me, like more specifically, I end up like, I have like brainstorm sheets where I just write out things like, what do I think about? And I'll just like write whatever comes into my mind out, and over through the process, I start developing a more defined plan. And a lot of times, like, I'll throw out all these ideas, and then I come down to a very, very, it's like when I get the answer, basically at the end, it's usually really simple, really straightforward. And it's not really that creative. It took a lot of creative thought to get to that very simple, straightforward answer, which is always surprising to me. Like, you'd think it'd be some brilliant, creative, like 4D chess thing, but it's usually actually really straightforward. And then, like, yeah, not forcing it, waiting for opportunity to show itself, but being ready for when that comes. And yeah, it's another interesting predicament I find myself in, is people ask me, what do I do all day? And it's like, what did you do today? It's hard for me to answer that question, because it's not, I didn't make this trade where now today I'm up $100,000 or whatever. It's like, I'm watching these certain things, they're playing out well or not, and I'm preparing one way or the other for this new thing to happen. And that's a lot of what I spend my time doing.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of piggyback off that is the reason I basically stopped everything I was doing and went full-time crypto is because one thing pissed me off. So I saw a lot of very young dudes getting extremely wealthy, but not smart people. Just they lucked out. Let's kind of put it that way, sort of. They were probably in crypto since like 2016 and stuff like that. But then when you look at crypto, the amount of new billionaires created in the last 5 years, a heavy high percentage of those are crypto. And just to put that in perspective, most billionaires are in industries that are 150 plus years old. Crypto is only a 12, 15-year-old industry. And it's already created more new billionaires in the last 5 years than pretty much any other industry in the world. So talk about exponential asymmetrical returns on learning. So, and when I say crypto, I'm talking about a bunch of different things. I'm talking about either finding new projects early because we're in a bear market. The other one is you can also build in crypto. Like all the devs I talk to, I pretty much all recommend them to become blockchain Web3 developers because the opportunity is that's so much more massive. Everything in crypto is just asymmetrical. Being an influencer is asymmetrical. Being a developer is asymmetrical. Being an investor is asymmetrical. Everything about crypto is so early, so asymmetrical, and it's pretty much unstoppable. It's unstoppable tech. No regulation can shut this down because that's the biggest kind of mental block that people have. Regulation can do nothing, absolutely nothing about crypto. Crypto can just build around it. So, man, I'm massively bullish on crypto. I'm at the point where I wake up at 16 hours of crypto and then I go to bed dreaming about crypto. Like my girlfriend slept over last night. Guess what? I was dreaming about crypto. So, man, crypto is funny. It, man. And I think people do need to be realistic. You need capital to invest. So if you're not at least 100 grand of investable capital, you're better off putting your energy, learning a little bit about crypto, dedicating 2 to 4 hours a day. But then after you pass a certain capital threshold, over allocating your time towards crypto gets you massive, massive rewards. Because if you get 100x on 100 grand, you're sitting on 10 million. Show me a business where you can make $10 million in 2 years. There's very little of those. In crypto, you can. Crypto is beautiful. I love crypto.
Mic drop. I love crypto. Yeah. It is the way to buy your freedom. It is. I mean, that's the point, right? It's not unless you're Godwell. I love talking about Godwell because he's like the only one who's just there, who's just in it for the game. Like he's apparently already super wealthy, and he hashtag never selling, and there's no liquidity for him to sell right now anyway. So he kind of has to wait forever to do anything, and he's okay doing that. And that's just an amazing, amazing person you want in the ecosystem. But most people, like they want eventually get liquidity. So sacrilegious to talk about selling this stuff because people think that you're fudding their bags, you're hurting them. They're do all this stuff. There are more silent ways to sell. There's liquidity providing. There's a lot of different more advanced stuff you can do to not hurt the price and all that too. But at the end of the day, if you're not taking profit, you only have paper gains. And go to the bank and try to use your paper gains with crypto. At least today, it's a little hard to do. So I just wanted to, this is the tweet reminded me of too. If you treat crypto like a slot machine, that is experience you will have. You'll win some, lose most, and quit fast. If you treat it like an investment and hold products that work with product market fit, successful founders, you're going to find it hard not to make money. That's where you want to be. You want it to be hard for you to lose. I think me and Maxim have talked about this. Did we talk about it that one stream where it was like you don't always have to make the right decisions. But you just want to avoid. I mean, that's kind of like what Charlie Munger talks about. Tell me the place where I'm going to die and I'll never go there. It's not that you always want to make the right decision. It's that you want to avoid bad decisions. So it's so many people do this. They treat it like a slot machine. Oh, price up, price down. Oh, I'm getting out now. Oh, that was just my extra money anyways. I mean, you do it like that, you're going to put all the emotions of being at the casino in there. If you want to be at the casino, most people win the casino or they lose the casino. They don't. They're in business for a reason. Casino ain't there to give you money. So I wanted to cover. I think this is really interesting. I'll put it in the chat as well. A guy I follow who does a whole bunch of Naval stuff. Naval Ravikant, one of my favorite people in the world. Like him, Richard, Alex Ramosi, 3 super good people to listen to and learn from. He covers a lot of the different stuff with Naval and different types of luck and things like that. I really like the way he talks about this. So I think this is Naval's or maybe it's what's his name's too. Maybe it's this guy as well. Yeah, I guess he's talking about these 2 people. But I love the way they explain this. So like they basically talk about 4 different kinds of luck. So 1, blind luck, where you just have no control. It's kind of what Max was talking about earlier. Positive event happens out of control. It's just fortune. It's just like good fortune. Maybe that's a good way of putting it too, differentiating between luck and fortune. And then luck from hustling. So you have some human influence. You're doing a lot of things. You're putting in the work. You have more chances to stumble upon an opportunity. That's kind of like increasing your luck surface area, like the amount of surface area where you're walking around and lucky stuff happens to you because you built up a broader surface for it to be attracted to you. Luck is starting to be attracted to you. And then the third one, luck from preparation, which we've talked about a lot too. When you become highly skilled at something and knowledgeable in a specific field, you'll be able to spot opportunities. You become sensible to luck. So people start treating you as someone they want to do business with, because you start showing this, you start showing the preparedness, you start showing the confidence, the success, stuff like that. So opportunities start hunting you. And then the fourth type, luck from your unique character. So when you build it, this is what Jake was talking about too. When you build a unique character, brand, and mindset, luck finds you. This is when it's kind of, they say complete control. I almost want to say it's out of your control. It's like, you don't need to do anything after that. Like it's they talk about famous investors. Nobody says, Warren, tell me how you're going to invest this money. Nobody asks him. They're like, they want to give him or any other successful investor as much money as they can and say, do whatever you do with it. You are the person. You are the one that's going to make it great. So, what do y'all think about those different kinds of luck or experiences with it?
I like it.
I love
it.
You
can go first.
Yeah, I remember I've listened to the Naval. I think it's Naval and Navi, the people that you mentioned there. Did I think it's like a 3-hour video. It's on YouTube, and they talked about
seen that one,
and that impacted me. I've listened to that interview, I don't know how many times, and I think it's really worth it. I think people should listen to it. I'm going to try to find the link and post it in the.
Yes, please. That'd be great.
It was really valuable to me. I can say that. Like it opened up my mind, and not only me, but I was just talking to another friend recently that's not a developer, but he's creating a specific software, and he's a construction guy, but he's built up his business enough that he has a lot of free time, and because of the influence of Naval, it's opened up his mind to some opportunities, and I think he's going to do very well. And it's just cool seeing people play out some of these ideas, and I think they've surely, made my thoughts more efficient. And I don't want to be lucky. I want to make my luck. I want to get rich because I understand what does it take to get wealthy. And I think Naval's specifically very talented at breaking down that process.
I'll just read this quote and I'll pass it to Jake. I like to think that if I lost all my money and you dropped me in some random street in any English-speaking country, within 5-10 years, I'd be wealthy again, because it's a skill set I've developed and I think anyone can develop. In 1,000 parallel universes, you want to be wealthy in 999 of them. You don't want to be wealthy in 50 of them where you just got lucky. You want to factor luck out of it. Very powerful quote.